Look, it's probably also worth stressing that a lot of the work that I do with advocacy, with governments in particular, is keeping in mind that we want people to be able to live in a home, to be safe and secure, and to have some financial stability and certainty as well about their life. And so the current housing situation we're facing, where there's a shortage of homes, is very much a problem of supply, but there is a great capacity for our members and our industry as a whole to provide more homes and get people into that state of financial certainty and safety and having their own home. And I think that's really a critical part which drives why we do what we do.
There's also constraints on people's borrowing capacity too that don't allow that, and that's obviously tightened up over the last, couple of years as well. So for the relief
Yes, and look, we have HIA does have an economics team led by Tim Reardon, and they're very passionate about that particular point at the moment. They've got a very powerful view that the prudential regulators, the regulators who regulate the financial institutions like banks, are being overly cautious at the moment. And I find that's a bit of a trend with government in general. There tends to be a bit of a paternalistic, patronising approach towards people. They tend not to give people credit for what they're capable of doing and tend to assume that they can't make their own rational decisions. And I think, unfortunately, prudential regulation is one example of that. Obviously, we're not saying let everyone just go and get whatever they want, and banks aren't dumb enough to do that anyway. But there are some restrictions at the moment which do need to be looked at. And hopefully, particularly as we're facing sometime this year, hopefully sooner rather than later, a cut in interest rates and ideally consumer confidence starting to really improve. I think that's important that we don't have unnecessary barriers frustrating consumer desire.
Absolutely. I think we're of the same opinion. Interest rates at some stage this year is going to come back and that consumer confidence will pick up, which will be great.